we're announcing today that I'm asking Judge Robart, the federal district court judge, who we were before a month or so ago, to affirm that the injunction that we obtained last month continues to be in effect and prevents implementation of core provisions of President Trump's illegal and unconstitutional travel ban.
That was the Attorney General of Washington State announcing a challenge to President Trump's revised travel ban on immigrants. And New York's Attorney General announcing a challenge via Twitter just a few moments ago. They joined Hawaii in attempting to halt the President Trump's revised travel ban he signed on Monday. The White House saying, no worries.
I think we feel very comfortable that the executive order that was crafted is consistent and we're going to go forward on this. But I think, by all means, I don't want to. We feel very confident with how that was crafted and the input that was given.
Bernard Whitman is a former Bill Clinton pollster and CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies. Catherine Timpf is a columnist for National Review and a Fox News contributor. All right, so we saw Hawaii, and now Washington State, you just heard. Where is this going, Bernard?
It's clearly going to be decided by the courts. It is a Muslim travel ban, let's be clear. We just have to look to candidate Trump, President-elect Trump. President Trump wants to ban Muslims from entering the country. He tried to do it once. The Washington State Attorney General was successful last time. They tweaked the language, but a Muslim ban by any other name is still a Muslim ban. The courts will weigh in, and hopefully they'll recognize that it violates equal protection due process.
All right, well, I saw Kat take a deep breath on that one.
Right. Well, this ban actually, with that language that you mentioned, could potentially take care of some of the due process issues under the Constitution. I don't really like it either. I think it's mostly political theater because DHS says most of the people who are violent extremists are here already or they're citizens. And it doesn't even address Saudi Arabia because that would be too politically inconvenient. So I don't love it. I think it's mostly political posturing and won't take care of the real problems. But to say that it's unconstitutional, I think a lot of the language kind of covers legally what a lot of the issues were. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not able to just say no this time.
So Bernard, obviously this is going to face its challenges. Where do you see this going in the short term?
Well, I think it's going to be up to the judges to make a determination. I mean, ultimately, I think Kat's right. This is political theater, but isn't the time for small talk and small games and small politics over? I thought that Trump was sort of alluding to that in his address to Congress. If he wants to be serious about making the country safer, let's enact policies and procedures and screenings that are going to make the country safer, do a better job fighting terrorism, enlist our Muslim brothers in the fight against terror, instead of discriminating against an entire religion just because you told your base that that's what you were going to do when you became president.
You know, Kat, we just finished up this White House press briefing, and we're never short on news coming out of Washington these days. And I'm not just talking Washington State in the case of this judge blocking the revised travel ban. I'm talking about Washington, D.C. I mean, whether it is talking about the travel ban, whether it is talking about Obamacare, whether it's talking about WikiLeaks, there's so much coming out of this. There was a different tone that we kind of heard from Sean Spicer out of the White House today, less of a defensive posture, I guess you could say. How do you feel about things right now?
Well, they were just throwing everything at him. They asked him about space. Well, what are we going to do about space? The healthcare thing is obviously huge right now. Yep. And there's
going to be a pizza and a bowling party tonight to have the president trying to convince the skeptical Republicans.
I'm a skeptic big time. I think that if they're calling it repeal and replace, I think if it were a real repeal, that you wouldn't be able to talk about it so easily in terms of, well, instead of this, we're going to do this. So instead of the individual mandate, the insurance companies are going to get money, or, and they're keeping the Cadillac tax, which so many Republicans actually were on the campaign trail speaking out against. So, I mean, I don't really see it as being good enough for me.
I think this pizza and bowling party thing is interesting, though, because this is a big change, and I'm not just joking. This is a big change from the way we saw President Obama operate. This is the president bringing together, skeptical GOPers and trying to convince him on his plan.
Well, look, I agree that Obama could have done a better job wooing Congress, but we had 14 months of hearings. We had hundreds and hundreds of discussions. This was passed. This was unveiled on Monday, the health care bill, the Trump care bill on Monday, voted on literally in the dead of night Wednesday. And what are people on Capitol Hill saying? They're calling it a stinking pile of garbage. They're calling it dead on arrival.
GOP.
These are Republicans saying this. Let's talk to the experts. The chief medical officer
But that's
of
not
Medicaid,
because they want something more like Obamacare.
Medicaid is saying no way.
Well,
every doctor's group,
Speaker of the House, Paul
group,
Ryan, is quite convinced that this is still going to.
But the ARP is against it. This is going to cut health care dramatically and increase costs for seniors and for low and middle income people. I don't think the Trump voters are actually going to be delighted when they actually get this bill in the mail.
Okay. Well, I'd let you have last word, Kat, but we run out of time. Good to see both of you.
Thanks,
All right,
Sandra.
busy week.